One of the best parts of living in our region, but accessing those recreations can be hard for some people due to the cost involved. That's why, as Northern News Now's Rob Coles explains, some Duluthians are working to help local kids pedal into the Minnesota wilderness this summer.
Though he's alone on the court this day, Johnny Casper is usually surrounded by kids when he's shooting hoops.
Sometimes we'll come in and play football, we'll play basketball, tag, freeze tag. We ask the kids what they'd like to do that day.
Casper is director of healthy living for the YMCA in Duluth. He also helps kids at the Wise Community Center in Harbor Highlands.
We encourage you to be here, and just it's a safe spot.
But leaders with the Y noticed during warmer months, many neighborhood kids started bringing their bikes into that safe spot to see if they could be fixed.
Trying to do some maintenance on those bikes, help fix them without the proper tools and knowledge.
Leadership Duluth heard about the problem and thought they could step in.
We form teams and we do a community project that addresses a community need.
So they launched their Ready, Set, Ride project. It's a one-day event this May where kids can get their bikes fixed by a professional mechanic and learn how to do some fixes themselves. According to Leadership Duluth member Troy Abfalter, this project could help remove some of the obstacles people face to make use of local outdoor recreation.
And really, we should be thinking about how we can make those environments more accessible and a place where everyone feels welcome and they feel like they can belong and participate in this awesome outdoor scene in Duluth.
He says helping kids get their bikes working could someday lead to a lifelong love of the outdoors. And for kids in Harbor Highlands, the great outdoors is closer than you might think.
The Duluth Traverse Mountain Bike Trail, which is this real awesome world-class bike trail, runs right behind the Harbor Highlands community.
Helping kids gear up for a Minnesota summer. In Duluth, Rob Coles, Northern News Now.
And that bike clinic event is Saturday, May 20th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Leadership Duluth is accepting individual donations to raise money for materials. We have a link to more information about the Ready, Set, Ride project at northernnewsnow.com.